Hi, my name is Cynthia, and I have decided to start a series of wealth files to financial freedom with me, Cynthia. The reason why I have decided to do this is because a lot of people are coming fresh out into the independent world and they don't have an understanding of the financial tools that are needed to even navigate through life. And I wish that I had something like this when I was coming out of high school, coming out of college, just, coming away from my parents. And because they didn't know the information, they couldn't give it to me. So it caused me to have a lot of trial and error just to stumble on this information. So I figured, why not put it together in a series that was packaged that could help others discover financial literacy to help them with financial freedom. So I hope that during this series, you can learn some information and you can grow and eventually you can become wealthy. All right, so stay tuned. Wealth Files to Financial Freedom with Cynthia. Compound and simple interest. What is it and why do we need it? Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it. Famous words from Albert Einstein. Because Albert Einstein knew the power of compound interest. How when applied in the correct way, you can earn lots of money. But if not used the correct way, it can cost you. This is why knowledge is power. The two types of interest. Compound interest is the interest on a loan or deposit calculated based on both the initial principal and the accumulated interest from previous periods. Example, credit cards and student loans. Simple interest is determined by multiplying the daily interest rate by the principal by the number of days that elapse between payments. An example of that would be mortgage or your auto loans. And we'll give more examples of what these are and how they work for us. Stay tuned. Why does compound interest matter? Compound interest equals interest earned on money that was previously earned as interest. It's great for savings and investments, but can work against you in paying interest on a loan. Compound interest causes interest and account balances to grow, and frequency, time, interest rate, deposits, and the starting amount all make compound interest powerful. An example of compound interest would be if you had $1,000 in a savings account and it earned 5% annually, you'd earn $50 with a new balance of $1,050. So the following year, you would earn 5% on the principal of $1,050, not $1,000, and would earn a new balance of $1,102.50. This would continue over and over with your money now making you more money. All this without adding any more than the initial $1,000. So could you imagine if we added to that daily, weekly, or monthly? Remember in this slide before we talked about the frequency of when it would pay out on the compound. There are some accounts that are out here that are daily, that are weekly. And if we could earn money with just an initial principal balance, in this case, 1,000, could you imagine if we put in 5,000 and we started feeding it $500 a month? We could grow our money at a much accelerated rate. It's almost like compound interest. An example would be if we compared it to a snowball. When you first start off with a snowball, it's small, but if you keep building and building and building and building, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. You could grow so much that a snowball so much that it could cause an avalanche. The same thing happens with compound interest. Left alone with time and you constantly stuffing it, you can walk away with a lot of money. But with every good side, there is a downside. The flip side of compound interest. If you owed $5,000 at 17% APR and pay only the 4% minimum due, you would have $71 of interest added to your balance, owing $4,871. If you didn't use the card anymore and kept only making the minimum balance due, it would take over 10 years to pay off $5,000 and it would cost you $2,627 in interest, which is a grand total of $7,627. That is the power of negative compound interest. Simple interest loans. Because a simple interest loan isn't compounded, the interest is calculated on the principal balance, which means you pay a set monthly amount plus interest on the original loan amount. This is an important benefit if you are able to pay more than the set amount, and it will lower the term of the loan. Because you're paying off the principal faster, you'll pay less interest and reduce the overall cost of the loan. The flip side of simple interest is if you borrowed $1,000 and the term was for 3 years at 20% annual interest, you would owe $600 in interest plus the $1,000 principal. With this knowledge in hand, we can now start attacking our debts strategically and start growing our money faster. So now we know that if we put more money on our payments with simple interest, we can eat away at the interest. We can eat away at that principal balance, thus shortening the length of our term. That's how there are some people that have a 30-year mortgage, but they pay it in 15 years because it's not that so much that they put extra money, it's the frequency of their payments that they are making that causes them to put more money onto the principal because less money is being calculated daily in the interest amount. So instead of you paying off the interest first and then the balance, you're paying more of the balance off faster. So if you had a $400 car note, instead of paying it once a month, if you paid that car note $100 a week, you would be putting more of that $100 onto the actual principal, and less of it will be getting eaten away out of interest because they pay interest first, then the principal, not principal interest. So the more frequent your payments are, the faster you pay off these loans, this debt. So I hope that helps. And for those of you that are super serious about getting a grasp on your financial blueprint, MWR Financial is your one-stop financial source that utilizes the skills of professional CPAs and debt experts with the ability to help you with your taxes, negotiate bills, credit restoration, debt elimination, and wealth accumulation. Let their financial makeover work for you. I can be reached at 313-351-5206 by text. And just text the keyword makeover and we are here to help you. Stay tuned for some more wealth files with me, Cynthia.